Tracking leads, jobs, and ROI is one of the key factors that helped us take a six-figure pool building company to multi-six figures. In this video, I'm going to show you everything that we did to make sure that that pool builder had the confidence to scale their business to that level. If you don't know me, my name is Connor Witter. I'm the owner of Crew Marketing. We help home service business owners get more jobs through a blended search approach. This video is for home service businesses who are stressed about ROI and afraid to spend on marketing. You'll learn how to track where your money is going and which marketing channels actually work. By the end, you'll have the confidence to invest in marketing that grows your business instead of being stuck in fear. Tracking lead, jobs, and all the metrics that go into marketing is honestly one of the most important factors in growing a home services business. If you are not tracking anything, then you are operating your business blind. The fact is, most businesses are losing between $5,000 to $100,000 per month, all because they're not tracking their leads properly. Each lead that slips through the cracks or that you forget to follow up with is thousands of dollars left on the table, completely gone. Bye-bye. You lost that job, and even more importantly, you just lost that customer. They went to one of your competitors instead because they actually responded. If you're bad at lead tracking, you're always going to be stressed about money and ROI because you're never knowing where your next dollar is going to come from. You're always needing more leads, and you're always trying to remember, hey, where did that lead come from? Was it from Facebook? Was it from Google Ads? Was it from referral? Where did it come from, and which channels work the best? If you don't understand where your leads and where your jobs come from, you are always going to be afraid to invest back into the business. Whether it's investing in marketing or business improvements, they're always going to feel really scary because leads are this kind of ambiguous thing that just come to you. But what you need to understand is that lead generation is something that you are in control of. It's something that you can track. It's something that you can monitor and something that you can improve, but you can't improve it without the data. If you're always afraid to reinvest into your business, you're always going to end up doing the work that your employees or your team should be doing, and you'll never be able to grow. You will never be able to scale your home services business without understanding where your leads come from, how much a lead costs, what the conversion rate from lead to job is for each of your different channels, and then how much does it cost to actually acquire a new job. If you don't know these basic things, you'll never be able to safely invest in your business. In fact, if you reinvest in your business, you're taking chances. You are risking the future of your business. Here's the crazy thing that most forget. Not investing in your business is going to cost you way more in the long run than just a few leads per month slipping through the cracks. If you don't learn how to scale your business, you're missing out on millions and millions of dollars. These are the exact metrics that separate a successful home service business from a failing and struggling to grow home service business. Now, when it comes to data, there are so many metrics that you can track, but there are only a few that you really should be tracking. You should only be tracking metrics that you are going to do something with. And so these four types of metrics are the ones that I have found to be the most useful for home service business owners to keep track of. So your marketing channel, this is going to tell you where your leads coming from. If you don't know where your leads are coming from, then you don't know the channels that are working and that are costing you the most. So track where all your leads come from. Next is tracking the lead source. Tracking the lead source, if they call you, text you, email you, or fill out a form, this is important because you might actually find that one or two of these are far more successful than the other. And so if you see that, then you want to funnel more of your leads to fill out a web form or call you or something like that versus send you an email. So when you're tracking leads, it's important to understand that there are multiple steps in the lead to job closing process. You might send them a quote, you might have to go out there and qualify them. So tracking each of those things gives you more ways to win because at the end of the day, you care about jobs, not just leads. And so the more granular you can get with tracking that process of closing that job, you can start to see it also gives you more ways to win. If you're able to see each of the steps that goes into closing that job, you can pull out little micro wins of every time you advance that lead to the next stage. The main reason that we want to do this is we want to feed back each of these little wins back to the marketing platform so that they know the leads that were actually qualified, the leads that were actually given a proposal or given a quote. And then of course we want to track job value and job metrics, because at the end of the day, you care about closed jobs, not just leads. So we want to let the marketing platform know that your conversions are worth X amount. We also want to track lifetime value, because a new job is not just a new job, it's a new customer. Treating your customers as lifetime customers will transform your business, not just in your marketing, but in the way you do business. The better you are able to get customers to purchase with you again, to come back to you, is going to completely transform the way you're able to grow your business. One of the metrics that is going to make growing your business much easier and far less scary is your customer acquisition costs. If you know how much it costs in terms of marketing dollars to acquire a new customer, the better you're able to allocate spend to scaling and getting more customers. So at the end of the day, scaling your business becomes a math equation, not something ambiguous. Most home service businesses don't realize that they only need to focus on a handful of key metrics to transform their business. The real power comes from consistency, not complexity. So track only what you can act on. If you are tracking things that you don't use to make a decision, or if it's not going to change something that you do in your day to day, then you should not be tracking it. Overcomplicating this process is going to significantly reduce the likelihood that you ever do anything useful with this data, and that would be a tragedy. Strive for usefulness over data. Here's exactly how to implement tracking systems that do the work for you so that you can focus on running your business. The first system is call tracking. Call tracking will monitor every single call that comes to your business, because every person that calls you is a lead. And so we need to track every single lead. And the call tracking software will attribute the source of the call. So whether that call is coming from Google Ads, Google Business Profile, Facebook, whatever the platform is, we can assign a specific number to that platform. So when they call you, we know where they're calling from. And then the call tracking software will automatically create a lead in your CRM so that you can follow up with that lead until they close. A couple softwares that do this are What Converts, CallRail, Go High Level. We personally use What Converts. I've had a great experience with it, so recommend it. The main reason we have call tracking is so that every phone call is answered and follow up with quickly and recorded as a lead. The next system is form tracking and attribution. This is very similar to call tracking. Anytime someone fills out a form, that person is a lead that needs to be tracked. And so that lead should get automatically created inside of your CRM so you can follow up with them and get them a quote and close them. Just like with call tracking, each lead form that is submitted needs to be attributed to the marketing channel that it came from. So whether that be Google Ads, Facebook, Google Business Profile, that needs to be recorded. And most of these systems should automatically do that for you. What Converts, Go High Level, Gravity Forms are great form tracking systems. We personally use What Converts, just like with call tracking. It makes it really easy to integrate all your website forms and CRM forms, whatever you're using, into What Converts so that you can track calls as leads and form submissions as leads. You can also track text messages and emails as well. The next system is your marketing and sales CRM. I've mentioned this multiple times with all of your leads. Anytime a lead comes in, that lead should be submitted to your CRM so that you can regularly follow up with that person until they close. And so one important differentiation is the difference between a job management CRM and a marketing and sales CRM. They are similar but different. Sometimes one CRM can do it all, but oftentimes not. The purpose of a marketing and sales CRM is to track the leads through the sales process and then send them, quote, follow-up message, analyze conversion rates across different marketing channels. Basically, it's all about your marketing and your sales. Whereas for your job management CRM, that is to track customers through the full job process, communicate with the customer, and manage your resources. Sometimes CRMs can do both of those things well, but oftentimes you might need a separate CRM for marketing and sales and then one for job management, especially for the different industries and niches. There's often specific ones for pool building and roofing and whatnot. Some good marketing and sales CRMs are Pipedrive, Go High Level, Service Titan, House Call Pro. I have seen been used for job management as well. So if you need that, those would be some options to consider. The primary purpose of a CRM is to make sure that your leads don't slip through the cracks and so that you have a process for following up and taking care of those leads and treating them as potential customers. The last tool that you'll need is some sort of automation connector and reporting tool. Everything needs to be connected to your CRM. Not all these lead tracking softwares are able to automatically connect to your CRM. So you may need something like Zapier or Make to do that. There's lots of great templates out there to make it easy. But the main thing is your CRM is usually your best reporting tool. So having all of that data funneled in there is going to kind of double as that reporting tool. This might be obvious, but sometimes it's not. Only buy tools that you will actually use. Don't waste time and money on tools that you won't use. Like I said, if you are not using the data to make decisions, then don't track that data. If you are working with a marketing agency, they should be handling most of your tool stack. As the business owner, you should definitely be in these tools regularly and understand them, but you should not have to set them up and manage them. That should be something that your marketing agency should be doing. So if they are not doing that and you want some help, go ahead and click the link in my description and I'd be happy to help you get all this set up. Once you have all this data, here's exactly how to turn into confident business decisions. This is why we track data. If we track something but don't make decisions based off that data, then we should not be tracking it. It is a complete waste of time. At the end of the day, business is math. It's really all it is. Number of jobs times average job value equals revenue. And then revenue minus cost equals profit. In order to grow your business, you need to know your revenue and you need to know your profit. In order to grow either of them, you need to know the variables and metrics that make up that number. And these metrics are the ones that go into that. These metrics are primarily for lead generation. There are other metrics that you'll need to track for other parts of your business like operations or staffing. In this video, we're only talking about lead generation. So for leads, you need to be tracking leads per month, cost to acquire those leads, otherwise ad spend, cost per lead. And then for jobs per month, your lead to job conversion rate, average job value, customer acquisition cost, average lifetime customer value, or otherwise known as LTV, and then return on ad spend. I built this basic sales ROI calculator that shows you exactly how these metrics impact your top line and your bottom line. So let's just say you have a ad spend of $3,000 per month and it costs you $100 to acquire a lead. Just for example, hypothetically, let's say you are a pool builder and your monthly ad spend is $3,000. It costs you $100 per lead. Your conversion rate is 20%. Your average job value is about $50,000. And then your average customer LTV is $60,000. So let's say, 1 in 5 of those customers come back to you and purchase with you again or hire you to do some other job. Using these 5 metrics, we're able to predict what is your average monthly revenue. What is the average LTV or lifetime value added from those new customers? What's your ROI on that ad spend? And what's the ROI on your customer lifetime value? At the end of the day, growth is just a math equation. We need to understand what is the cost to grow? What is the cost to get eyeballs? What is the cost to get leads? And then what's the conversion rate on converting that lead to a job? And then how much are we making from each of those jobs? So when you track this data, you're able to predict growth, which makes it far less scary to reinvest into the business by spending more money on ads. You need to regularly be reviewing these numbers on a weekly and monthly basis if you want to grow. If you ignore these numbers, you will not grow. It's just how this stuff works. The more that you look at this, the faster you will grow. So on a weekly basis, you should be looking at how many leads did I get last week? Did I respond and follow up with all of them? This is something that you need to be holding your sales team accountable for. How many of these leads were legit qualified leads? Do I need to adjust my marketing or my offer to be able to get in front of better qualified people? How many leads are you giving quotes to? And then how many of those leads became jobs? This is something to adjust based off of your sales cycle. You may need to have a larger window for longer sales cycles. For example, if you build pools, it might take a couple months to close a lead. You might need to broaden that time window to be able to get good data. At the beginning of every campaign, we sit down with all of our clients every single week to make sure they build a really good habit of doing this regularly. Then on a monthly basis, you need to evaluate which channels are generating the most jobs, which channels have the best ROAS, the best conversion rate, the best customer acquisition cost, and then cut the budgets on the losers and scale the budgets on the winners, because this is really where you scale. Lead generation is an investment, and so it's important that you view it that way. It's going to take some time and money, so don't give up too early. This is how you become one of the biggest companies in your industry. It takes a lot of time and work, but it's well worth it. Scaling lead generation is how you grow. The businesses that know how to reliably, consistently generate leads are the most valuable. If you ever want to sell your business or at least if you want to get out of the day-to-day of your business, you need to learn how to get leads. The reason that we do everything that we just talked about is so that you can grow and so that you can scale. You can't scale until you track your data and manage it properly. Then once you have the economics that make sense at scale, increase your ad spend, use the sales ROI calculator. I'll have it linked in the description. That is going to help you predict your revenue and help you predict your growth. Building these systems take time. Even if you're really good at marketing, you're going to need somebody who is solely focused on setting up these systems and building out your lead generation. You cannot grow without that. Scaling lead generation is going to create new constraints in your business. So it's important that you have people to help out. You'll need more crews, more managers, more salespeople. You probably already know that, but this is just part of growth. The difference between home service businesses that struggle and those that dominate isn't just hard work, it's confidence. And confidence comes with knowing exactly where your money is going and what it's bringing back. If you want to get more leads and you want help setting up these systems, go ahead and hit the link in the description to schedule a call with me personally, and I'll show you exactly how we can help you do this. If you want to see more videos like this about how to grow your home services business and get more leads, go ahead and hit the subscribe button.